Whoa, it's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Having my morning coffee. And I was sitting here. And I realized the future is like the blankest slate ever. Right? Like, yeah, I know, like, I'm having my kid and me and the hologram and the minigram, we're doing our thing, moving into the future. And, you know, we're just on kind of like, we're doing our thing regardless. But I was also just got fully overwhelmed with the potential of whatever it is. And it fully overwhelmed me. It almost sent me into fear, which was why I decided to start making this video, because the big blank slate of my future involves this somehow. And realizing that, I realized that this is part of my comfort zone. This thing I do with the camera and talk to the camera and broadcast this message out into the universe. And so I had a meeting yesterday with a movie producer / talent agent. I don't know. I went in and saw him about some advice about taking this to the next level. And it was really an advice thing, you know, and every step along the way, I really haven't had anything to do with it except I show up. Like, I just show up, man. And that's what I was, you know, I showed up. I was supposed to go meet this guy and I showed up because that's where I was supposed to be. And I was telling him about my thing, right? I was telling him about my angle on it all. And he basically was saying that I live on a life, metaphorically, that's a freeway with no lanes. And that he was a guy with lanes. And he's in the lanes. And I was like, look, man, I'll get in a lane. I'm down to get in a lane. Because I also yesterday had the craziest conversation with one of us out on Spaceship Earth asking me for advice about their life, right? And I'm like, wow, that's such a heavy trip, man, that someone even thinks that I have a valuable opinion on their life is a heavy concept when I think about where I've come from. But when I realize the power that I've tapped into in the sense of letting go of it all, I realize that it totally makes sense. So here I am with this guy because I think part of my deal is, like, I'm supposed to take this to the next level. Like, if I say like again one more time, I'm probably going to blow my brains out, right? So, for example, I've been always wanting to do a podcast. I've always been wanting to do sort of live performances at venues, because I can definitely hold an audience live with a microphone. I don't even need a microphone. My voice carries. And do my performance. See, I've never actually done my true performance here on YouTube. I've done bits and pieces of it, but my whole live reality, some of my friends have caught, and I've done it in various aspects at various places. And I have a thing I need to let out. I have this thing I have to let out. And at the same time, I realize that part of my thing is I get so involved with trying to hang on to integrity with what I'm doing that I don't truly put myself out there to accept what might be the universe's flow, if you know what I mean. And I was talking to this guy yesterday about the lanes of the freeway, and I go, look, man, I make my broadcasts 6 out of 10 times from a Volvo. For the length of from the old Terra Cruiser 1 to Terra Cruiser 3, I've been doing most of my videos from a Volvo. I go, why not be sponsored by Volvo? It seems logical. I'm inadvertently sponsoring Volvo. Why not be sponsored by Volvo? And I don't mean that in a sense of like monetary stacking my cash to be a pig. I mean like to basically finance life, to really do what I'm supposed to be doing, which is, and I've struggled with this a long time because I'm supposed to be out meeting my people and checking them out and rolling around. You know, when I had the juicy vans for a moment, like there was an opportunity there, and I don't know whatever happened with the juicy van thing. That guy just disappeared. I thought he was hyping me on there was going to be some cool stuff coming down. We're sending you to New Zealand and juicy van, we're loving you. And I was all about making a juicy van internal like broadcasting network and whatever, man. I had some brain power behind that thought. So here I am. Another day in the dream, right? And I'm sitting here like, where am I going with the dream? Like I got to go down to the Minigrams presentation at school today. So I have to be somewhere at 10:30. Like I got a dot on the map to aim to today. But after that, I'm like, well, I should probably go up to the shop and work on some stuff up at the Talons Out studio, which is just an unknown enigma in my brain. Like I'll go cut some wood and make some stuff and do some stuff, right? But the thing that I guess that overwhelmed me with is having trust, having total trust and faith in the universal flow that's guiding me. And yet I'm just sitting here at a table drinking a cup of coffee, making this video. But underneath that all, there's the train has left the station, and that train is going out into this great unknown that I have no idea what it is. And if I look back, right, I go, it's taken me on a journey that's been nothing but positive and beneficial and abundant and flowing. I put up on Instagram, a shot from Chile a couple years on Throwback Thursday. And I was like, yeah, that's so crazy, that moment years ago already. It seems like I was just in Chile yesterday. And I was in London. And it just seems like it was like, right, if everything's in this moment of time and space, it's all happening right now. And I just have to let it go. And yet at the same time, I'm like, there's a nervousness about it, right? Because I sense that the tipping point is here. I was talking about it with the hologram last night. It's like a tipping point of it. And it's not about like selling out for this. It's about communicating on a different bandwidth, if you know what I mean, is I keep running into people and keep talking to people that are like, dude, whatever you're doing is rad, and don't stop doing what you're doing, man. And I'm like, okay, but it's so, I guess it's supposed to be DIY. I'm a skater, man. It's do it myself, but I'm so limited by my own self. Like I do limit myself. And part of my limiting of myself is not taking these chances in the big box because I'm so opposed to the big dynamic that's eating up spaceship Earth. And yet it is occurring whether I participate in it or not. So I try to get that balance of like, well, if I could chip some of that away to some really positive stuff, because I have all these like positive things I want to do, and yet I'm too chicken to go out and get the financing. And the chickenness of it all is not that the asking, it's this weird limitation I've put on myself about don't be a sellout and don't do this and that. And I'm real sensitive to it because it's gnarly, man. So when I sit here in this quiet moment thinking about the potential of it all and having no idea what it looks like and being pretty fine with it, that being fine with the not knowing is overwhelming. Does that make any sense? In the sense that generally speaking, we're always like have A goes to B goes to C, and I'm sitting here at like F trying to get to E, F, G, right? Trying to get to the G. And I'm not that concerned about it, right? I have no idea what G is, where G is, what G's about. But I'm here at F. I'm totally know I'm going to get to Z eventually. And G's going to show up. I have no idea what G's going to look like. And I just go, oh, G. Right? Anyway, I'm sitting here on the cusp of the tipping point in my dream, and I know it, and things are going to blow up. Baby Owl's coming, man. Baby Owl's coming, and Baby Owl represents this big, giant proof of hope, right? Like, if I think about my journey so far, it's like it's the ultimate, like, dude, you're on this mission, man, and it hasn't failed you yet. So have total faith in the mission. And just buckle up, people. I sense some big things are happening in the dream. Anyway, it's the illusion, man. I hope we're all dreaming big, man. I'm dreaming big, though I don't even know what I'm dreaming anymore. It's a big blank canvas. Dreaming of a big blank canvas. Put some colors on there, some lines and stuff. Anyway, I just had to chime in to relieve my own anxiety, if you will. All right, man. High frequency positivity all the way, people.